What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Nash here. Welcome back to the channel. Now, before we get started with today's video, the road to 200 subs has now come to a close, and we're now on the road to 500 subs. Who knows? Who knows? Maybe we might hit 500 subs by the end of the summer. Only time will tell. But as I have said in previous videos, if this channel does get to 500 subs, I will open up this Korean LOB booster box in its entirety on the channel that I got from my partners at Collector Store. So be sure to check them out. Link and address will be in the description below. By checking them out, not only does it support them, it also supports the channel, and I would greatly appreciate it. On the hopes to potentially pull a Blue Eyes White Dragon, a Dark Magician, a Red Eyes Black Dragon, a Piece of Exodia, Monster Reborn, Pot of Greed. The possibilities are out there. However, if this channel gets to 1,000 subs, I will open up this first edition Toon Chaos box in its entirety on the channel that I also got from my partners at Collector Store, on the hopes to potentially pull a collector's rare out of this set. But it wouldn't be the first time that I pulled a collector's rare, because I also pulled this. Freshly pulled out of my Genesis Impact box opening that I did last year is a collector's rare B-Cup from the Underworld. This thing looks absolutely beautiful, you guys. The centering on the back is a bit off from top to bottom, but honestly, it really doesn't make much of a damn, because I am going to be getting this card graded, but I never came up with a good opportunity to do so. But with that being said, if you guys want to see these boxes get opened, maybe you guys want more episodes of WWE's Biggest Issue. Maybe you guys want more episodes of Yu-Gi-Oh's Biggest Issue, deck profiles, card discussions, WWE topic videos, or maybe, just maybe, you guys want some premium live event predictions and results. Well, if you guys want all of that and more, my channel is the place to be. So if you guys are new to the channel and you haven't done so already, because I know that a lot of you guys are new to the channel, because more than 80% of you guys are watching the content, but you guys aren't even subscribed. And to top it all off, we gotta get more women watching. We gotta get more women to watch the content. So if you guys are watching the content, you like the content, and you want more of the content, but you guys haven't even subscribed already, make sure you guys do indeed subscribe to the channel. Turn on the notification bell. Smash that thumbs up button on this video, and as always, make sure you guys are following me on all of my social media. My ads will be in the description below, as will the info to my fan mail. It will also be in the description as well. And I want you guys to post in the comments below answering the question of the day. And this is actually a two-part question. The first part is this: I'm on the card as it sits now. What are your guys' predictions for WWE Elimination Chamber 2024? And the second part to the question is this: what do you think Cody Rhodes and Seth freaking Rollins will have to say on the Grayson Waller effect? Let me know down in the comments below, and that is exactly what we are going to be doing for today's video, is predictions for the Elimination Chamber, and also talk about the Grayson Waller effect, and talk about what Cody Rhodes and Seth freaking Rollins will have in store for the WWE Universe in Perth, Australia. And I'm gonna be honest, this will be interesting because for some reason Grayson Waller has decided to sing the good praises of the Bloodline, and now Paul Heyman gave Grayson Waller advice on how to ask questions, which Makes no sense whatsoever. Grayson Waller isn't a part of the bloodline, so I don't know why the hell. Excuse me. I don't know why the hell Grayson Waller would want to get advice from Paul Heyman, but I will say this: knowing Seth Rollins, knowing Seth, he's probably gonna try and tell Cody, I told you so. I can be your shield. I can team up with you to stop the bloodline once and for all at WrestleMania. And honestly, I like the idea. But at the same time, Seth brings up a good point. It's partially his fault that Roman Reigns became the man that we see now, or rather that we have seen over the last few years or so. And honestly, I feel like I also feel like as if Seth's ego might also get in the way. And when we do get to WrestleMania Sunday, Rollins might end up turning on Cody. Do I see that happening? At this point, it's hard to say. I don't think that's gonna be the case. But given the fact that Seth has lost to Cody literally 3 times, I wouldn't be surprised if that was the case. But here's the thing. Seth kind of reminds me of how can I describe him? He kind of reminds me a little bit of John Cena in a way. A man of honor, sorry guys, I can't speak. A man of integrity, a man of respect, and a man who wants to make the WWE a better place. And I think the only way to make that come to pass is by helping Cody win the undisputed title at WrestleMania. But obviously I could be wrong. I could be wrong. Seth might just, piss on Cody or some shit, but then again, if Seth does ask the question, if Cody will let Seth be Cody's shield heading into WrestleMania, knowing Cody, he might say yes. Then again, he might say no. Who the fuck knows? But all I can tell you is that the Grayson Waller effect is going to be one hell of a segment to watch. But now we got to move into the men's and the women's Elimination Chamber matches. The men's match will be, actually, both of them are number 1 contenders matches. The men's side, whoever wins the men's chamber will go on to WrestleMania and challenge Seth freaking Rollins for the World Heavyweight title. As far as the women's side goes, whoever wins that will face Rhea Ripley for the women's world title, potentially on WrestleMania Sunday. Because we know that the match between Io Sky and Bayley, rumors have been spreading that that's going to be the main event for WrestleMania Saturday. If that is the case, then odds are we're going to end up seeing Rhea Ripley defending the title, or potentially Nia Jax, which we'll talk about that here in a bit, on WrestleMania Sunday. But of course, too, the roles could be reversed, and the women's world title could also be the main event. The possibilities are always out there, but on the men's side, you've got Drew McIntyre, Randy Orton, Bobby Lashley, LA Knight, Kevin Owens, and of all people, Logan Paul. Obviously, Drew McIntyre defeated AJ Styles. Randy Orton defeated Sami Zayn. Bobby Lashley defeated Bronson Reed. LA Knight defeated Oh my god, who'd he beat? Oh my god, I don't know. I know that Kevin Owens defeated Dominic Mysterio. Ivar. LA Knight defeated Ivar, and then Logan Paul. Logan Paul was able to defeat The Miz for the second time, obviously, in Logan's career, which is pretty crazy. And then on the women's side, you've got Becky Lynch, who defeated Shayna Baszler. Bianca Belair defeated Michin. Tiffany Stratton defeated Zelina Vega. Naomi defeated Alba Fire. And originally it was supposed to have been against Shotzi, but because of what happened last night on NXT, unfortunately that was no longer the case. As it was then against Alba Fire, and then of course Raquel Rodriguez returning to WWE after a few months to win a last chance battle royal to qualify for the final spot in the women's elimination chamber. And honestly, you have two all-star chamber matches. On the men's side, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4 guys who are former world champions. Drew McIntyre, Randy Orton, Bobby Lashley, and Kevin Owens. You've got a fast rising star in LA Knight, and then of course you've got Logan Paul, the current United States champion. And on the women's side, you've got 1, 2, 3. Literally all 6 of these women are former women's champions. Obviously Becky Lynch being a former Raw Women's Champion, SmackDown Women's Champion, Tag Team Champion, NXT Women's Champion, and a Royal Rumble winner as well. Then of course you got Bianca Belair, who is a former Raw Women's Champion, SmackDown Women's Champion, WWE Women's Champion, a previous Elimination Chamber winner, and a Royal Rumble winner as well. And then of course Liv Morgan, multi-time Tag Team Champion, former SmackDown Women's Champion, Money in the Bank winner. Liv Morgan has really started to up her game a little bit over the last couple of years. And then also Tiffany Stratton, a former NXT Women's Champion. Naomi, former 2-time SmackDown Women's Champion, former Women's Tag Team Champion, and even also she's also a former TNA Knockouts Champion, which I'm surprised that WWE allowed Michael Cole to, and Corey Graves and Pat McAfee to bring up TNA. When at a time when we never thought it would ever happen again. TNA partnering with WWE. It's a pretty ballsy idea, but honestly, I'm not gonna complain. And then of course Raquel Rodriguez being a former multi-time WWE Women's Tag Team Champion, a former multi-time NXT Women's Tag Team Champion, a former NXT Women's Champion as well, and the winner, and one of the first winners of the Women's Dusty Cup, which honestly was insane. All 12 of these superstars are making history in their own way. And this is probably one of the most stacked chamber PLEs we have had in years. And for those who are curious about the Elimination Chamber, the rules are simple. For those who have never seen an Elimination Chamber match, the rules are simple. 4 superstars will be locked inside each individual plexiglass pod that is inside the chamber, and then the other 2 superstars will start the match. Every 5 minutes, a pod will open, allowing another superstar to enter the match. This goes on until all 4 pods are empty, and the only way to be eliminated is by pinfall or submission, which must happen in the ring, and the last one standing will go on to WrestleMania to challenge the Women's World Champion and the World Heavyweight Champion respectively at WrestleMania. And honestly, probably the wild card in the men's match definitely has to be Logan Paul, because when you really think about what he's done in the 2 years that he's been with WWE, think of some of the guys that he's been in the ring with. He's been in the ring with guys like Rey Mysterio, guys like Dominic Mysterio, The Miz, Roman Reigns, Ricochet, Gunther, Cody Rhodes, Damian Priest, Seth Rollins, Santos Escobar, and even also Kevin Owens as well. Now he's going to be stepping inside the chamber with literally 4 former world champions who all deserve to be in the Hall of Fame, in Drew McIntyre, Randy Orton, Bobby Lashley, and Kevin Owens. But here's the thing. The odds-on favorite to win the whole thing is obviously Drew McIntyre, because of the fact that he's had a few opportunities at Seth Rollins and the World Heavyweight title since Seth won the title last May last June. I think it was back in June of last year. At Night of Champions, and since then Seth Rollins has been on a massive roll. I've never seen Seth Rollins work this hard as a champion in years. We haven't seen that side of Rollins in years. Obviously now he's injured, but it's not as bad as the last time he had a knee injury. Because last time he had a knee injury, he ended up having surgery, and he was out indefinitely for the latter part of almost a year. I think November, December, January, April, May, June. Yeah, about 7, almost 8 months. Almost 8 months he was out. But this time, he was not giving up that title so easily. And honestly, this is pretty cool, because you have 6 superstars who are fan favorites. As I mentioned before, 4 of these men are all former world champions. You have a fast rising star and the current United States champion. That right there says a lot. So obviously the wild card is definitely going to be Logan Paul. The odds-on favorite is Drew McIntyre, but the dark horse definitely, as crazy as it sounds, is going to be LA Knight. And the reason being is because while it is true that both Logan Paul and LA Knight have never been inside the chamber before, LA Knight has an even bigger chip on his shoulder than ever before. Yes, he may have become the $1 million champion when he was in NXT. If you know, you know. But that's just it. Right there. That was his one and only championship in WWE. So by winning the men's Elimination Chamber, not only does he silence the doubters, but he proves all the haters wrong that his match with Roman Reigns was not a fluke, that LA Knight deserved that opportunity just like he would deserve this opportunity as well. So, and it's the same thing on the women's side. Tiffany Stratton definitely is the wild card in this whole thing. Naomi is definitely going to be the dark horse, because this will be one of her first matches back in WWE since walking out of WWE 2 years ago, but Becky Lynch is the odds-on favorite. So who do I think it is gonna win? Well, on the men's side, I mean, again, you've got quite a few people in here who are former world champions. You've got LA Knight, you've got Logan Paul. Honestly, as crazy as it sounds, I think it's gonna be Drew. I think it's gonna be Drew McIntyre, and I say that because of the fact that I want to see it happen. As crazy as it is for me to admit it, I would love to see Drew McIntyre become a champion in front of a live crowd. I would love to see it. But think about this. Even if Drew wins, Rollins is going to come at Drew like never before. So that would be interesting to say the very least. But as far as the women's side, I gotta go with the man Becky Lynch. I think Becky has more to prove than any of the other women that's inside the women's elimination chamber. That's just how I see it. But speaking of women, we got the women's world title being defended, and supposedly this match will be the main event of Elimination Chamber, as Rhea Ripley will be defending her title against Nia Jax. And this is interesting because this is probably going to be one of the biggest challenges of Rhea Ripley's career, because she's going up against a woman who is a former multi-time women's tag team champion and a former Raw women's champion as well. So obviously Jax, she has the upper hand over Rhea, but in terms of experience, but in terms of accolades, I think that honor belongs to Rhea Ripley. Think about this. The very first ever NXT UK Women's Champion, former NXT Women's Champion, Raw Women's Champion, Women's Tag Team Champion, SmackDown Women's Champion, Royal Rumble winner. And of course, the first ever Women's World Champion as well. And again, Rhea Ripley, the last ever SmackDown Women's Champion. Think about that. History made. Rhea Ripley is a history maker. And that's saying a lot. That is saying a lot. But this is interesting also because when you think about Rhea Ripley, one thing that comes into mind is the fact that she's become sort of like the leader of the Judgment Day, even though Judgment Day has no leaders. The way I see it, this is a must-win situation for Rhea Ripley, because if she loses in her home country in Australia, there's no telling what Rhea Ripley will do to take Jax off of that pedestal. I don't even know, but as crazy as it sounds, I gotta go with Rhea Ripley on this one. I feel like if there's a dream match that fans want to see at WrestleMania, it's definitely Rhea Ripley versus Becky Lynch. And if the fans are clamoring for it, WWE will make sure it happens at some point. Why not now? Plain and simple. So my money, Rhea Ripley. But speaking of the Judgment Day, we've got Balor and Priest against Tyler Bate and Pete Dunne, known as British Strong Style. Never that I'd be saying the name Pete Dunne again after all these years. That is so weird. That is so weird, because we've been so used to saying Butch now that it's become super cringe to say Pete Dunne. But damn it, it feels so right to finally say Pete Dunne after all these years. But But this is interesting too because both Tyler Bate and Pete Dunne have dealt with Finn Balor multiple times in the past, not just overseas in the UK, and on the Europeans, on the European independent scene, but also from their time in NXT. And this is probably one of the first times that that we've seen Dunn and Balor go face to face, which is kind of interesting. But you've got four guys, two teams, all wanting to become tag team champions, but obviously Bate and Dunn, we know of their history. We know of how competitive they can be, especially if they were facing each other one-on-one. But as a tag team, woo-hoo, they are as strong as it can get. Hence the reason why they are known as British Strong Style. And I'm going to be honest, Balor and Priest better get ready because this is going to be one hell of a fight. They're going to have one hell of a fight on their hands. But as big of a fan as I am of both Dunn and Bate, Balor and Priest are definitely going to have the upper hand with the rest of Judgment Day in the form of JD McDonough and Dominic Mysterio potentially getting involved, which, as we've seen in the past, it's definitely going to happen. So my money is on Balor and Priest, although I would be surprised if Bate and Dunn did end up becoming the new Undisputed Tag Team Champions. But with that being said, guys, that will do it for today's video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure you guys smash that thumbs up button. If you guys are new to the channel and you guys want more premium live event predictions and results in the future, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell, and follow me on all of my social media. My ads will be in the description below, as will the info to my fan mail. It will also be in the description as well. And on that, this is your boy Nash, signing out.